All right. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our speaker, Connie White, super coach and owner of Lit Learning LLC. Connie White is a fireball of energy with an insatiable passion for impactful transformation and guiding development through self-discovery to bring out the potential of others. With many years as a road warrior transforming teams and businesses across the nation, Connie brings a unique perspective to the WYRED stage that will leave you finding a piece of yourself that you never knew existed. Welcome, Connie, and thank you for sharing with us today.
Oh, thank you very much, Kelly. And I want to thank the Wires for the invite. I'm bringing you greetings from Atlanta, Georgia. And since we're here to talk about inspiration, guess what? We're going to go ahead and we're going to get this party started. Now, I'm going to start right off by asking you a few questions. Before today, have you ever thought about inspiration or what inspiration is or where inspiration comes from? Have you ever even looked for inspiration? Hit me up in the chat. Have you, give me a yes or a no. Have you heard?
Lots of yeses.
Yeah, lots of yeses. Okay, good. Well, I got to confess that I really didn't give too much thought to inspiration, really. First of all, because it was always there. Inspiration was always there until a few weeks ago. And that's when I had to ask myself the question, how can I find inspiration? So I'm going to share with you this experience. I had been asked to speak to you at this event, and I was really excited about it. And then about 2 days later, let me tell you, panic set in. I mean, panic truly set in. It was pure panic. I mean, I blacked out. I totally blanked out. And Noah suggested, everybody remember Noah? He did a session earlier. He had suggested that I start writing all the bad stuff. Well, forget the bad stuff. How about no stuff? I mean, I had not one idea of what I would speak about or what I would write about. So I want you to do a favor, just indulge me for a minute and just close your eyes just for a few seconds and tell me what you see. Close your eyes tight. Now tell me what you see. What'd you see? Hit me up in chat. What'd you see? I'll tell you what I saw. I saw nada. I saw nothing. Absolutely nothing. I was panicked. I had blanked totally out. And
yep,
I was
actually darkness, blank page, but we've also got family, your cartoon, your Panic Monster cartoon, which is also what I saw. Okay. White page, nothing, darkness. Christine said opportunity.
Okay, all right, good. Some of you are very creative folks out there. I closed my eyes, I saw darkness. I didn't see anything. And I'll tell you, as I was trying to get prepared for this speech, I was actually running around the house shouting, I can't find inspiration. How can I find inspiration? And in retrospect, I may have been putting out the wrong message to the universe by repeating, I can't find inspiration. And the universe actually responded in like, so that I could not find inspiration. So in hindsight, in 2020, what I probably should have been saying to the universe is find inspiration, and then maybe I would have found it. But let me tell you, I was so desperate. I mean, so desperate that I actually reached out to my Facebook friends, right? And my Generation Zs, did you hear that, Angel Marie? They hit me right back. Yeah, they said, meditate, take a walk. Some of them even suggested that I get a big bottle of vino and just chill. Well, the good news is, thankfully, an awakening came to me one morning out of nowhere. And that was to revisit my why, to think and reflect on Simon, that's Simon Sinek, for those of you who don't know, to reflect on his golden circle, on my what and my how and my why. Now, I know what I do. I coach. And I know how I do it. I facilitate. So that is my what and my how of what I do and the means by which I do it. My why is my spark. I'll tell you, it is who I am. I inspire others to do, and I inspire others to be, to reach their full potential. That's what I do. Now, I had my why, what I'd lost. I'd actually lost my inspiration. I had actually lost my inspiration. And I had to ask myself, is loss trying to tell me something? Is loss trying to tell me something? And this was from Noah Max. The hardest thing is a blank page. I mean, when you close your eyes, what do you see? And you don't see anything on that page. I mean, I was truly freaking out. But that morning I got up, and instead of writing my message, I began to write spoken word. That was not my intended message. My intention was to come downstairs and write my message. But I'll tell you, I started writing and I couldn't stop. And the spoken word, I'd like to share that spoken word with you today. Inspiration lost. Today, I found it difficult to get inspired, to be inspired, to find out what is inspiring. Perhaps I had momentarily forgotten what is inspiration. Where does it come from? I find myself uninspired for so long. I've been uninspired by so many distractions, so many uncertainties. Was the noise so deafening I could not hear? Could the noise be so that it's obstructing my view I cannot see, so I cannot see? Had the noise swept away the footprints I left behind, footprints that would lead me back to my inspiration? Why? Why isn't the GPS showing me the way to inspiration, giving me directions, telling me who is going to be my inspiration? So out of desperation, desperate, I asked Siri, Siri, how do I find inspiration? And Siri responded as Siri does, sorry, that is beyond my capability at this moment. Well, search as I may, my inspiration could not be found today, not today. I thought to myself, Google knows everything. Yet my search for inspiration to be an inspiration is showing no results. Had Google also given up on me? So I decided to collaborate with others, my BFFs, my colleagues. Together, we put the super in heroes, superheroes of inspiration. But for some reason, not so today. No cape, no muscle, no rescue. This hero could not inspire or be inspired. Had time become my kryptonite? Could there be some inside stimulus attempting to tell me something? Perhaps for me to go to my quiet place to listen, to intensely understand to what is being said? Whispering so loudly, you don't have to go outside of yourself to find inspiration, to be or to do. Had inspiration waiting for me to quiet down, waiting for me to silence the noise of others' opinions and other distractions and begin to listen to the voice within, to shout out the outside noise and hear the inside voice and what it had been trying to tell me, to turn inward to the serenity and the calmness of the voice that lies within me, because the greatest power of inspiration is within me. So why look for something that was never lost? Why am I looking outside of myself to find myself? Am I the very inspiration that I seek? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And that is the spoken word that actually came to me, that morning. That was inspiration found. And that was my story. That was my story. And don't be ashamed of your story, because it will definitely inspire others. And my story is to be continued, because that was only the beginning of my being inspired, the inspiration, the spark that ignites the flame. And that is a picture of the very inspiration that came to me that morning. This is the inspiration that came to me that morning. Everybody see that? Good. Good. Well, let's talk now about inspiration. What had I been searching for? Can someone tell me or send an emoji? how you would describe inspiration. How would you describe inspiration? Could you let me know, Angel, what we're hearing?
Energy.
Energy.
Spark. Ability to
Spark.
Transform lives. Spark. Soul.
Spark. Okay.
Kelly entered a light bulb.
Great, Kelly. Love
Sudden
it.
clarity.
Love it.
Barbara says colors. Aisha
Okay.
says sky.
All right. Well, I'll tell you, I looked in the Oxford English Dictionary, and they define inspiration as the action or an act of breathing in or inhaling. So it's that act or the action of breathing or inhaling in. And when I heard breath, it was like, that's the very essence of life, the very essence of life. And I looked at several other definitions, and figuratively speaking, they were saying that it's a breathing in, it's an infusion of some idea or purpose into the mind. The suggestion, an awakening. We heard that in my spoken word. It was an awakening, it was a creation of some feeling or impulse, especially of the exalted kind. But the definition that fit my feeling, how I was feeling that morning, was that inspiration is a call from the soul to express itself through us. Let me repeat that. Inspiration is a call from the soul to express itself through us. It's a breathing in, it's an infusion into the mind. And it became clear to me in my story that the call from the soul, that inner voice, was telling me to revisit my why. And I truly felt at that moment, the seemingly impossible became possible. I was breathing in, or the infusion into the mind, that spark, that an awakening of the possibility of the choices and the options, and they became vividly clear. I mean, vividly clear. And there was this sense of urgency within me. There was a sense of urgency to write. And I began writing, not my message, but the spoken word. But there was this urgency to the point where I did not want to put down my pen. I was afraid. I was really afraid to put my pen down, because what would happen then? But it was at that moment, that very moment, when the impossible became possible, and I began to create, or should I say co-create. So in summary, right? Inspiration is what? What is inspiration? It's a call from who? It's a call from the soul to express itself through us. And that call to me was for me to revisit my why, to revisit my why. Now, there are some key drivers of inspiration. There's psychologists Thrash and Elliott said that it occurs spontaneously without your conscious control. Remember I said it was an infusion into the mind? It was that inner voice, that call from the soul. And there was this feeling that you must get it done, and you had to get it done right then. I did not want to put down my pen. And then there's this transcendence, there's this rising above, where there's this clear, I mean, it became vividly clear. It was a sense of clarity and single-mindedness and this intense focus. Those were the drivers of inspiration for me. So raise your hand if you've ever experienced this or something similar. Have you ever been inspired in such an amazing and awesome way? Raise your hand. Let me see some raised hands out there. Okay,
lots
great.
of hands go up all over.
All right, good. Inspiration is an amazing thing. It's awesome. And I'll tell you, when we talked about this spontaneous, without control, and we talked about how you were feeling, we talked about transcendence, and transcendence is a key driver of inspiration. It's that rising above. It's when the self is even greater than yourself. You're ascending, and you become in alignment with this vibrational alignment with the universe. It's when you have this vibrational alignment with the universe with a clarity of focus. And it's not forced, and it's a sense of urgency, and you continue to rise above yourself. It's kind of like being outside of yourself. outside of yourself. And then those limiting thoughts, you know, those limiting thoughts, I can't do it. I don't know why I can't do it. I can't find my inspiration. Well, guess what? Those limiting thoughts begin to disappear. And you gain a new perspective and a new point of reference to what is possible, making that seemingly impossible possible, the unattainable attainable. And inspiration embodies, there's two things it embodies. Number one, it embodies what you can do, inspired to do, and you can also be inspired by someone or something. So you can be inspired to do something, and you can also be inspired by someone or something. And in creating my spoken word, I was inspired to do, and I was inspired by. I was inspired by the soul, right? The call of the soul that was expressing itself and continued to express itself through me. So look, I want you to think of a time now when you have been inspired by someone or something. I want you to think of a person who has inspired you. And who comes to mind? Put that in chat. Who comes to mind? Someone who has...
Barbara says Connie.
Connie!
Marie
Oh,
says
okay, great. That is my why. That is my why. Thank you.
My mom and Danny. Got another Connie.
Okay.
Grandmother, Mr. Wayne Dyer and Simon Sinek. Connie White.
Sure.
Dave Rosenjack.
Okay.
Simon, International, my family, everyone here at Wired.
Okay, yes,
Angela.
very much.
Oh, that's me.
I've been inspired by them as well. Well, let me tell you what, when I asked this question, I went to my friends again on Facebook, and they told me that Steve Jobs inspired them. Let's see, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, Mrs. Jones from the second grade, Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and let's say, of course, you couldn't leave mom out, right? You couldn't leave her out. So the person that you chose, why did you choose that particular person? We heard what? Your mom, you heard Connie, you heard, who else did we hear? Why did you choose that particular person? Reflect on that. Why did you choose that particular person?
Karika says it really resonated with what they had to say.
Okay, good.
Aisha says your energy is contagious. Feel, let's see. Wow, it's lighten up, Connie. Feel loved and support, kindness, authenticity, genuineness. Mom taught me never to give up. Personal touch, real people that I know, not a name out there in the ether.
Okay, great. Well, let me tell you that those people you just mentioned, they are ordinary people who did and do extraordinary things. They're ordinary people who did and do extraordinary things. They didn't start out to be an inspiration. They didn't start out to change the world. They simply want to make a difference in their world. They simply wanted to make a difference in their world. And as Simon says, I love to say that, and Simon says, right? And I choose to believe it, that the reason you are aligned with these folks is because their beliefs and your beliefs and values connect to your why, to that which you inspire to be, to that which you inspire to be. Now, when you look at inspirational people who have changed the world, perhaps, the scope of their inspiration may seem comparatively minuscule to what you're trying to do. But let me tell you, don't compare. It's not comparable. What you need to do is just focus, direct focus on your beliefs and your values into making a difference in where? In your world. Make a difference in your world, and spirit, wonderful spirit, will do what it does in a world of unlimited possibilities, making the seemingly impossible possible, the unattainable attainable, and then transforming ordinary folks like you, and like you, become extraordinary and opening up, I mean, truly opening up a world of unlimited possibilities. Now, let's recap what we've done so far. We've defined inspiration. We said inspiration is a call from where? Where is it a call from? It's a call from the soul, right? To express itself where? Through us, right? We've identified transcendence as a key driver that gives us a sense of clarity, right? Single-mindedness. It was very clear that I was writing the spoken word and was not writing, right, my message. I didn't think I was anyway, because it's an awakening of the possibility of new options and new choices and new opportunities that become vividly clear to you. And we've also discussed who inspires you and why. And those are the people that connect. Look, they connect to your beliefs and values. They connect to what you aspire to be or to do. So are you with me now? Send me, come on, in chat, give me some thumbs up if you're with me.
See thumbs up, I see dancing.
Oh, yeah, okay, good, good, good. Because I'll tell you, and I've heard this all through some of the sessions that we've had as well. People say they're inspiring and they're inspirational, and they use the words interchangeably. So I really wanted to, is there a difference between inspiring and inspirational? And there is a difference. Inspiring means that the person or thing is actually causing or has caused a person to be inspired. I'll tell you, that's a mouthful right there. That's a mouthful. And inspiration means the person or thing has the ability to inspire. So again, inspiring causes a person to be inspiring. Inspirational, you have the ability. We all have the ability to be inspired. Every single one of us has that ability to be inspiring. So let me ask you this. When you look at your reflection in the mirror, who's looking back at you? Do you see somebody that's inspiring or somebody that's inspirational? Who are you saying? Just saying. Who are you seeing? And how would you even know that you've been inspiring or inspirational? How would you even know that? Well, I'll tell you, an interesting thing about being an inspiration to someone is you may never know. You may never know. Could be inspiration for the sake of inspiration or just appreciate the value of an inspirational thing. You may never know. And I'll share with you, there are times in my life when folks have told me, you have been an inspiration in my life. And I have been so honored to be told so. I've been so honored to be told this. But when I reflect, when I'm by myself and in that quiet moment, I say to myself, what did you do to be inspirational? And many times the rational explanation, I don't have one. I just don't have one. But could it be that you are just living your why? That's what you're doing. You're just living your why. You're living your authentic life and you become an inspiration to someone. Could that be? Because I will tell you, there are people in your life, check it. There are people in your life whom you unknowingly inspire simply by being you, who you unknowingly inspire simply by being you. So as I created my spoken word, the call from the soul was to revisit my why. That's what that call was. And my why is to inspire others to be, to inspire others to do in order to reach their full potential. Inspiration coming from my why, from my purpose, from my meaning, transcending, rising up, going above, listening to that inner voice. What do we call that inner voice anyway? What do we call that inner voice? Many people call it what? Intuition. And it starts from the inside out, and you're focused on changing the world, your world, their world. You're focused on making a difference in your world. Now, inspiration comes from the late Latin word. I'm going to chop this up. Here you go. Inspirare. That's how Noah would say it, inspire, right? Which means in spirit. That's when you shut out the noise. And with this new normal, that's so hard to do, of those outside voices. You have to shut out the limiting thoughts of I can't do, I won't do, and what if. And you have to tell yourself that my thoughts are going to remain aligned with my why. I'm going to stay committed to my vision. You know, in Simon Celery's story, he says, you know, that if your why was to lead a healthy life, and you walked into a grocery store and you saw some kale and some quinoa and a big old chocolate cake, and you walked out with the chocolate cake, not living your why. So you have to have that unwavering commitment, right? Determination, become your own superhero, to do it and to do it for the greater good. So we're going to check in right now. We know the difference between inspiring and inspiration. We know we'll never know. We may never know whether we have inspired people. And we know that inspirational people start with the why. So now I really want to talk about 3 other words that are very interchangeable, right? And I hear people say this all the time. I motivate this one, and I influence that one, and I inspire this one. And again, many times those words are used interchangeably. So we want to clarify, for our purposes, let's clarify the difference between motivation, influence, and inspiration. Motivate is to do. You need a motive. You're a pulling force to action, right? Simon says it has a lifespan. You have to repeat it, right? It's a motive to do. Those of you who are in sales know you have motivational things all the time, right? You're always trying to motivate people to do. Children, you try to motivate, here, you eat this and I'll give you some ice cream. You're motivating them to do. And influence, and that motivation comes from external motivation. It happens externally. And then influence is a directive force to provoke change. You're consciously aware that you're exerting this pressure, right, to provoke change, to make things happen. And inspire is to feel. It's a process of feeling. It's a driving force. And in Latin, it's in spirit or divine guidance. Inspiration, a divine influence directly and immediately asserted upon the mind, an infusion of the mind and an infusion of the soul. So you have your pulling force, which is motivation. You have your directing force, which is influence, and we have a driving force that creates this sense of urgency, which is inspiration. And I'll tell you, once you have inspiration, you don't need motivation. Once you have inspiration, you do not need motivation. Okay, so let's check in and let us take a deep breath as we're infusing this stuff into the mind, right? Let us just take a deep breath here. Hit me up with an emoji on how you're feeling. Hit me up, hit me up, hit me up. How are you feeling? Because we're gonna go back to some of those people that inspired you, and we're gonna look at some of their traits and characteristics. So what are some of the traits and characteristics did the folks that inspire you have? What were some of their traits and characteristics that made you say they're inspiring to me? Tell me.
Feel free to unmute and join the conversation if you'd like to speak out loud. We've got lots of comments in the session.
Okay.
Let's see, genuinely care.
Caring. Okay.
Yeah,
Give me about 3.
Christine, do you want to unmic and share a couple?
Yeah, I think I heard or I learned from Angel Marie the meaning of shuka.
Shuka.
Yeah.
Want to share that with us, Christine?
To be seen, to be heard, to be understood, to be cared, and to be appreciated.
Okay.
And I think that's a very good a set of words that I think my mom lived with me or shared with me without even know that this was living the Shuka life.
Leading the Shuka life. I love it. I love it. Of course, Angel Marie would come up with that. Leaving the Shuka life. I love that. Any other traits or characteristics? Okay, so, my Facebook group told me, they said commitment, drive, tenacity, having a servant heart, right? Using your gifts, being humbled about it, faith, courage is another one I've heard. So we have a pretty good list started, but what do you think the importance of knowing these traits are? What do you think the importance of it would be? What's the WIFM to you? WIFM, what's in it for you to know the traits and characteristics of people who inspire you? Well, I'll tell you, knowing the traits and characteristics enables you to emulate, to mirror those characteristics and traits in a way that is personal to you and that connects to your why and that aligns with your why. And you can then mirror those behaviors, what they say and what they do, to enhance and develop your ability to be inspirational as well. Like I said, when you look at the man or woman in the mirror, right, who's I'm trying to change my ways. I know you don't want me to sing, but anyway, right? You look at that man in the mirror, that woman in the mirror. Do you see a person that is looking back at you and inspiration or being inspirational? Because to be inspired is great, but to be an inspiration is truly an honor. Now, when you look at the traits and characteristics, do you see some of your own strengths? Do you see areas that you're strong in? Could you say that you have a certain servant heart, or that's one of your strengths, or you have faith, you're committed, you're focused? Do you see some of your strengths? Because by seeing your strengths, what that enables you to do is that enables you to use those strengths, right? To use those strengths by identifying and focusing in on yours. It gives you that intense focus. And what you strive or what you focus on will eventually become your reality, right? You affirm it, and so it is. So truly affirming my why, I am inspirational. I'm inspiring to others. I am inspiring others to do. I am that I am that I am. I am are some of the most powerful words that you can use. So I want you to focus in on your strengths so that they will eventually become your reality, and affirm it, and so it is. So let's do our final recap. We've identified our inspirational role models, right? Our moms and Gandhi and Simon, of course, and the second grade teacher. We said that we could emulate the traits and characteristics and behavior, right? And we can build a framework for you to enhance and utilize your strength, whatever that strength is. And you can create your reality, that which you inspire to be or to do, or co-create, I like to say. You can co-create that reality. Now, I'm going to end with one question, and it's the very same question that I began with, is how can I find inspiration? And for those of you who don't know me, I truly do. I love to dance. I really do love to dance. So when I said, well, how can I explain this so that people can get it? Again, inspiration came to me, that call from the soul came to me and said, well, it's like learning a new dance. It's like learning a new dance. Inspiration, finding inspiration. First of all, you have to listen to the beat, right? Right. And when you're being inspired, you have to listen to the call of the soul that expresses through us. Then you begin to move your feet to the beat, right? So you move it in alignment with the why. You're moving in alignment with the why to be inspired. And then you get your own rhythm. And with inspiration, you go with the driving force of inspiration. And then all of a sudden you get into the groove, right? You get into the groove and you get into the optimal experience in tune with your higher consciousness when you're finding inspiration. And then you just get down, right? And that is inspiration bound. That is inspiration bound. That is the dance. Okay, Angel, I'm ready.
Getting the sound shared.
Nope. Yes, inspiration. Happy dance, happy dance. Inspiration, it's that feeling, it's that beat, it's that rhythm, it's that flow. That's inspiration. It's a call from the soul, right? Expressing itself through us. And if you recall in my story, I posted how could I find inspiration on Facebook, and my friends advised me to exercise and to meditate and to read and to chill with a bottle of wine, but they were giving me the outside stimulus for inspiration. And what we need is we need to tap into the inside stimulus, what that inner voice is trying to tell you. What do you need? Well, I needed to revisit the why. And for Angel Marie out there, I'm going to give her the T now. Actually, I'm going to give her 3 T's. As you use your ability to be inspirational or inspired, a change is going to come. A big change is going to come. And that change is actually transformation. It's a major change in the form of your character and your function. And then there's a transfigure, which is a change that exalts or glorifies, that is inspiring. And then there's that transcendence. That's the rising above, where thyself becomes greater than yourself. And you make the seemingly impossible possible, the unattainable attainable, and the ordinary extraordinary. Now, the power to inspire others exists in all of us. We just have to choose to be present and to use it. Just choose to be present and to use it. And in closing, this is truly the beginning of my inspirational journey, and it is to be continued. And I would close my message as I began it with spoken word. Inspiration is that feeling, that spark that may at times flicker and dim. Yet inside us burns an internal flame, an illumination in spirit, unprecedented and uncertain, the call of the soul expressing to us. We are indeed, you are indeed, the very inspiration that you seek. The power to inspire others exists in all of us. Again, we just have to choose to be present to use it. Now that is my story. Inspiration lost and inspiration found. And I want to thank you for your time, for your attention, and thanks for your love and for your support. That inspires me every day to inspire others to do and to be. And I want to thank you for your part in my journey. And I leave you with a quote from William A. Ward that says, "The mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, the great teacher inspires." Thank you so much. Thank you.
Connie, that was brilliant. Thank you so much. Does anyone come off mute and ask Connie any questions? We've got a few minutes left here. Lots of positive comments. Oh, we've got a request to repeat your last quote, please.
My last quote was from, I got to give the credit here, William A. Ward. Says, "A mediocre teacher tells, the good teacher explains, the superior teacher demonstrates, the great teacher inspires." And remember, we all have that ability to inspire.
Wonderful. Anybody want to come off mute? Otherwise, we can jump into some rapid fire questions with Connie, find out a little bit more about her. All right.
Yes.
Connie,
Yes.
what were you really into as a kid?
What was I into?
Yeah.
I was a tomboy. Is that proper to say in today's environment? I was a tomboy. I like to play baseball. I actually was a bat girl for my grandfather's baseball team. So that's what I was into as a kid, playing with my
Awesome.
cousins. Yes.
What song have you listened to on repeat?
What songs? I like Celebration, Good Times, Come On. Now
Mhm.
that's an old one. I know Angel Marie don't know nothing about it, but but I like Celebration, Come On. I do like it. Yes.
Cake or pie?
Yes.
Cake or pie?
I thought you were saying yes to both when you said yes.
That's why I say, yeah, I do like both.
Oh.
But I would take a good old apple pie.
Nice.
I would take a good old apple pie anytime.
What TV show character would it be the most fun to change places with for a week?
Oh wow. What TV movie character? TV movie character. I watch HGTV. So I guess Joanna.
Yes.
I
Awesome.
guess Joanna. I guess I would trade places with her on HGTV. So that's about all you're gonna get from me on that one.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
If someone narrated your life, who would you want to be the narrator?
I would have liked Angela Milo to have narrated my life.
Nice.
That's somebody that I would say that I am inspired by. The challenges that she overcame to become the great woman that she became.
We have a question here coming from Megan. What are your top 3 books that are must reads in your opinion?
Oh my goodness, my goodness. See, I wasn't prepared for that. Okay, top 3 books. I'm gonna let's see. I just started reading this one. I better say Find Your Why. I better say that one. Put that one out there for sure. I'll put that one out there. I'm going to put this one out there because I believe women should help women. This is one of my colleagues. So I'm going to go ahead and put that one out there. And of course, the Bible is one. So that would be another.
Awesome. All right, we are at time. Thank you so much, Connie. We've got so many positive comments.
Oh, thank you. And thank everybody that joined us today. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, family, as friends, as extended family as well. So thank you all. Appreciate it.
So if anyone would like to connect with Connie and learn more about her work, you can visit WYRED.com, and all of her contact information is in the speaker bio. So feel free to check that out. And we're going to take a quick break to reset the room before our next speaker. So we'll be back at the top of the hour in 15 minutes with Melissa Ciciola. And she's going to share with us her journey of You've Got This, really. So you won't want to miss that. And we will see you in a few minutes.